Yo, what's cracking, everybody? Slender here, and we're going to do a tutorial today on how to make a nice thumbnail. Now, before we get started, my thumbnails mainly revolve around gaming and, games because I play New World, I play Lost Ark, different video games, and I'm always making videos about these games and, update videos like when a new update hits, the details and stuff like that. So every single video I publish has a thumbnail, and you want to have a thumbnail for every single video. Never make a video without a thumbnail. I can't tell you the importance of having a great thumbnail and a great title that work together. If you are making a video on, we're just going to take one of my examples. So if you're making a video on how to make money in this game, you don't want to have the words how to make money in New World and that have the same exact title, how to make money in New World. You want those to be different, but both basically say the same thing. Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense, but you get what I'm saying. So the thumbnail and the title really have to go together, and you don't want them to be exactly the same thing. You want them to be about the same thing, but convey it in a different way. One visually and one, well, it's all visual, but with words. So I'm going to show you guys my process, what tools I use, and I'm going to show you my very first thumbnail, and I'm going to show you some of the more recent ones. And you're probably going to do the same thing. You'll have this like timeline of progression, if you will, from beginner to mid-stage to, now you're making badass thumbnails that people actually want to click on, because that's the goal. You want people to click on yours and not the other person's. You don't even want the viewers to see the other person's thumbnail because yours stands out so much. So it's all about grabbing people's attention and also making it look clean, nice, cool, not too much going on, but they really want to be able to see that thumbnail and get a gist of what this video is about along with the title. We're not going to get into the title, but well, how about we get started? Now, the reason I'm making this video is because somebody requested it, and that somebody is Mr. CrazyKilllin. He actually reached out to me on Twitter, said, hey, I want some help with thumbnails. Any way you can help a brother out? And I said, abso-freaking-lutely. I love helping people and teaching people what I've learned, and also inspiring people to want to do the same thing I'm doing. My favorite YouTuber is Lazy Peon. Lazy Peon is an amazing YouTuber. He's the one that inspired me to start making videos. Just everything about his videos I just love. Really cool guy. Well, seems like. And yeah, so if I can inspire other people, I'm all over it, and I want to help as much as I can. So CrazyKilllin, this is how I make my thumbnails and what I use. So first thing you're going to want to do is find a picture editing website. I use Canva. Why? Because it was free. I now pay for it because I love the background remover, but you can get so far with the free version. I had the free version for months, so there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not sponsored by Canva. I don't get paid by Canva. I just love Canva. So I'm going to tell people about it. And the other thing that you're going to want to grab is Lightshot. Lightshot is amazing. So it is app.printscreen.com, and it's also a completely 100% free tool. And what Lightshot does is it allows you to take screenshots very, very quickly. And it's a part of my process that I use daily. Every single thumbnail I make, I use Lightshot. So do yourself a favor and download it, and let's get started. So what I'm going to do, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to show you guys my very first thumbnail, and I'm going to show you guys how I have progressed over the months. I started making YouTube videos about 8 months ago, 7.5 months ago, and I think I've come a long way as far as thumbnails go. So here's my very first thumbnail ever made. How terrible is that? Look, my clothes didn't even match. You know, it's, I guess it's not the worst you've seen, but it could be a heck of a lot better. And as you can see, as time progressed, you know, I started doing a little bit more. I remember when I made this one, I was like, man, I've come so far, you know, as far as thumbnails. And these are what my thumbnails look like nowadays. Stuff like this. Much, much better, cleaner. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So step one, you create a design, and we're going to do a custom size. And I always do 1920 by 1080. That's the size of my monitor. And that is also just the perfect size for a thumbnail on YouTube. So here we go. What we're going to do is I'm going to log into the game really quick, and we're going to make a thumbnail called, this video is going to be, let's see, what should we do? All right, so we're going to do how to craft a legendary sword. We're going to make it a little bit generic, you know, that's okay. And yeah, how to craft a legendary sword. And we're going to pick a sword to craft too. We're just going to pretend though. All right, so CrazyKilllin, the guy that requested this video, I'm assuming he plays video games as well, and I'm also assuming he's making videos about gaming, so I'm using gaming as an example. Now, we're going to make a video on how to craft this legendary weapon, so I'm going to take some stuff from the game to include in my thumbnail. So we've got a pretty cool looking sword here. I'm going to go with this one right here, Ice Burst of the Soldier. And when I make a thumbnail, I go about it two different ways. What I'll do is I'll either just use a screenshot, you know, from the game itself as the thumbnail. So I'll get something like this, or maybe do like a cool pose, you know, and try to get a screenshot like this, you know, how to craft this sword. And I try to get a nice background, like this spot right here is pretty cool. And this is where I use light shot. Light shot will allow you to take, like I said, a screenshot right from the game immediately and just paste it right into your program that you're using. So we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna use that like right here. And the video is gonna be about how to craft this sword. So I'm gonna hit my print screen button, and this is light shot. It pauses everything and it lets you pick whatever you want. You can copy and paste this, or you can do the whole screen. And we can upload it right to Canva with Control V or paste. And then we can stretch it out. But that's the, how do you say, that's the short way to do a thumbnail, the shortcut. We're not going to do that. And you can, there's nothing wrong with it. But I like to make mine more custom, not just a screenshot. And I like to spend a lot of time on it. One thing I learned about making thumbnails and making YouTube videos, and this is something I practice religiously, and this is something I got from a video. Whatever amount of time you're spending on your thumbnails right now, double it, triple it. Spend a long time on your thumbnails. Do not take shortcuts. So we're just going to go ahead and get rid of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this sword, kind of like that. And I'm going to copy it right into here. And a really great thing about Canva is you can remove the background if you pay for the paid version. You just click on the picture, you go to edit image, and you hit background remover. And sometimes it gets rid of the whole thing, sometimes it doesn't. It works a lot better when you have light. So we have a little bit more light with this shot, so I'm going to try it again. And now the AI should be able to tell a little bit easier what stuff you want and which stuff you don't want. So again, we're clicked on the image. I'm going to go to edit image and use the background remover, and it should get rid of most of this stuff. There we go. Look at that. And then from here, I mean, you can actually go in there, and if there's parts of it missing like this, you can hit restore and you can get that back. Now, you have a couple of options here. It doesn't really matter. This is just an example, but we're going to get rid of this right here, whatever that is. And it really helps to zoom in and get rid of all these little extra bits. You can change the size of your brush so you can be more precise with it. And this is just a tool to help you clean it up a little bit. There's some stuff missing here, so I'm going to restore that part, and I'm also going to erase some of this stuff. And you can get to the nitty gritty and really get in there with a really fine, you know, brush and get exactly what you want and get rid of exactly what you don't want. And like I said, I can't tell you how much I use this tool. It's amazing. Now, you do have to pay for this, the background remover, but it is so worth it. You're going to be using it all the time. And we're going to go ahead and hit done, zoom back out, and now we have a nice clean image like that. And we're going to be showcasing, you know, this sword. Maybe something like that. Now, another thing I like to do is I like to take pictures of my character and put them in my thumbnails because I like showing off my different skins, stuff like that. So I'm actually going to get rid of my swords, my weapons. And again, this is not what you have to do. This is what I do. And I'm going to do like a cool little pose. So we'll do a thumbs up. And I'm going to hide the HUD while he's doing the thumbs up. I'm going to take a nice... Oh, wasn't fast enough. And I don't really like that because I want to get like kind of a side view so you can really see him doing the thumbs up better. I'm going to put that in there, and it might be a little bit too dark. I might have to wait till it's daytime. And we're going to remove the background on this. And I just think doing it this way just makes it so much cleaner than just having a whole screenshot as your background. I don't like that. So I'm actually going to pause the video. We're going to wait till it's daytime and we're going to get a much better shot. And you know what? I had already taken some screenshots of the same exact thing. So I'm just going to use one of the captures I have from before. So I'm going to use this one. Here's a really good looking thumbs up. And we're going to go ahead and remove the background on this. Perfect. And then we're just going to go in there and kind of edit it a little bit. We're going to zoom way in and we're going to get rid of the stuff we don't need. Like, I don't even know what that is. Maybe it's supposed to be there, maybe not, but we're going to get rid of it. And then we've got our cape. That's okay. And we're going to get rid of this stuff. And then we're going to zoom in a little bit more and we're going to get rid of all this. And if you mess up, it's okay. You can just hit the restore button. You don't have to get it all on the first try. Now we're going to increase the size, get rid of this. And the more you do this, the better at it you will become. It takes time and patience. And there may be better tools out there. I'm still learning myself, but when somebody asks for my input and the way I do things, I have no problem showing people what I do. And I'm going to call that good. So here's a little bit that was erased on accident. So we're going to hit restore and just brush that in. And then right here as well, brush that in. I think there's a bit that needs to go away. And oh, you know what? We're going to get that a little bit cleaner. So we're going to zoom in and just try to get rid of these darker areas. There we go. Now let's zoom out and see how it looks. Perfect. Look at that. So I'm going to hit done. We're going to hit apply. Now, the great thing about Canva is when you stretch and skew, I don't know if you've ever done that in paint, it distorts it. This maintains the resolution. It's amazing. So I'm going to make it nice and big and maybe put it right there. Now this, I don't really like the way the hand's there, but I'm just going to keep it there for now. And we're going to flip this by hitting flip horizontally. Oh, I guess vertically. And then we're going to move it this way. And we'll maybe cut off the hand a little bit. There we go. And we're telling people that this is the sword that we're going to craft. Now it's time to choose a background. So like I said before, you can just take a screenshot and just use it as the background completely, you know. And sometimes I do because sometimes, you know, in this game, it is so beautiful. You get some of those moon rays going like that, and you can take the whole thing and just use it, add some text, you know, and call it a day. You know, and then since we're making this about crafting a sword, we can still use the sword that we have, and we can just take it from the other Canva thing. We can just copy it, paste it. But, you know, I don't like taking those shortcuts. I like really making the thumbnail, constructing it from, you know, nothing. And here's an example of when I do use just a screenshot. Like I said, they do have their place. You know, this is just a screenshot, no shadows, no nothing, just a beautiful screenshot and some text and some logos. And that's it. This thumbnail took me, I don't know, maybe about 15 minutes. I had to find the right font, blah, blah, blah. But this is an example of where you can get away with using just a screenshot. So I'm going to go to elements and I'm going to choose a background, and we want to use something that doesn't interfere with our ability to see these elements. So we want to go with the background that looks good. And this is a lot of trial and error finding a good background. So I'm sure there's tons of different ways to do this, but what I do is I just type in background. And, you know, if you want, like we're doing a crafting one, so maybe we want to use something that has the look of maybe construction, so we can do like a metal background, maybe that'll look nice. You know, I think it might look cool. Let's try this one. And Canva has tons and tons of stock photos that you can use. It's really, really cool. See, doesn't that look kind of cool? So this would be like a kind of cool background, but we are having a little bit trouble seeing what's going on. It might be a little bit too much. So you can go with something like this. They've got animated backgrounds that you can use. Now, of course, it's not going to be animated when it's on YouTube. It's going to be a still, and you can control, you know, you can find the perfect spot, like, oh, that one looks good right there, and we could stop right there. So I'm still looking. I think I might like this one. This one looks kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. And you could flip the background. You know, you can have this part on the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and put it on the bottom. Actually, it looks kind of better on the top, doesn't it? Now, we want people to know that this is a New World game. So what I did is, to get these logos, I've uploaded so many things. Now I can just type in New World, because it has everything that you upload, everything that you copy and paste, it gets uploaded and it all gets saved. So I have my New World logos and I can just pop it in there. And this is going to be a pretty detailed guide. So I'm going to show you guys how I actually did this. So I just went to Google, typed in New World logo, did an image search, and now we have all these great things. Okay. And again, one of the really nice things about Canva is, you know, if I were to take this, let's do this one. Oh, nope, that's a transparent one too. Anyway, you can take anything, whether it's whether it's got a transparent background or not, like this right here. Perfect. I'm going to open this up in a new tab, and I'm going to, actually, we can just copy it, paste it right here. Now that doesn't look good, right? And we could reshape it by just dragging these dimensions and, you know, reshaping it. But this would be an example of what my very first thumbnail would look like. We don't want this. So what we're going to do is hit edit image and remove the background. And whoever made this, by the way, did a really great job. And look at that. Now we have a transparent one. So if this background was black, it would probably look at that. Looks great. And you can do a solid color background, but I like to keep things interesting. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to go back to the original background that we had, and I'm going to use my New World logo. So this is kind of hard to see. So this might be a time where we can either put it at the bottom, which actually looks pretty nice, but there's also different things you can do to make these stand out. So you can use a white one, and to make this pop a little more so it's not so hard to see, you can add shadows by hitting edit image and shadows. And we can make it glow. See how it adds kind of like a shadow to it, and we can edit that and we can make it bigger, smaller. We can change the transparency. I mean, look at how much that stands out. That's not hard to see at all. You could change the color of the shadows. You can do all kinds of stuff, but we want to keep it uniform with the rest of our stuff. So I'm going to change the size and make it a little bit smaller. And I don't like that super sharp look, so I'm going to soften it a little bit by blurring it like that. And there we have our New World logo. Now we're going to take these images right here and we are going to doctor them up a little bit too. So I'm going to make this guy a little bit smaller, and I'm going to add a shadow. I always add shadows. It makes stuff look so much better. Check this out. There's a couple different ways we can do this. We're going to edit. We're going to go to shadows, and I'm going to try a glow and a drop. And we're going to see which one we like better. Just going to put that over to the side, and we're going to flip this. So we're going to add this one as a glowing effect. Watch how it just comes alive. I'm going to change the size a little bit. I always crank up the transparency and then add that blur. Doesn't that look cool? I think it just adds a whole new look, you know, to the image. It really makes it stand out. And then this one, we're going to do a drop shadow, which kind of makes it pop out, like it adds a 3D effect, if you will. And I love the blur option so much. So I think we can go either way. You know, the glow looks good, the blur looks, or the drop looks good. I think we're going to stick with the drop. And with the sword, we're definitely going to make it glow. And like I said, just kind of makes it pop out and stand out. And you can change the colors, like I said. So we've got that. You're going to want to put, I like putting my logo in all my thumbnails so that people know this is another Slender video. So there's ways to upload your logos. I mean, but if nothing else, you can just see, if I go down here to logos, this is all the stuff that I've actually saved as a logo. But I've done this so many times that, oh, whoops. Done this so many times that I've have everything uploaded. So now I just type in Slender and there's my logo. And I do the same thing to my logo sometimes. Sometimes I'll add a shadow. Sometimes I'll make it look like there's an actual shadow. You know, you can play around with it. Or sometimes I won't do the shadow and I'll do the glow. Sometimes I will just do black. And sometimes I'll change the colors around depending on what the background is. Maybe I'll do the same color as my text. You know, I play around with stuff a lot. And like I said, I just spend a lot of time, lots and lots of time on my thumbnails. The thumbnail is the first thing that the people are going to see. Now we need a little bit of text. You don't always have to have text, but I use text. And this is something that will really just finish it and add the final touch and make it look really nice. So we're gonna make the title, you know, how to craft, you know, whatever, or how to craft the name of this sword, or how to craft legendary weapons. So that's gonna be our title. So we want to put some kind of text in here, like amazing sword, or maybe the name of the sword. You know, this is the Ice Burst sword, I think. Let me see. Yeah, Ice Burst of the Soldier. So if this was something that, you know, there's another weapon in the game that is very popular called Fury. You know, people know the names of these items, and, you know, if it's something new that comes out, people are going to get, you know, you want them to get excited about this thumbnail and this video. So we're just going to put the name Ice Burst in there. So we're going to choose some text. Now, Canva comes preloaded with a bunch of text. Now you can pick from these. These are just different text with different effects. And there's free ones. There's ones that you can only use if you have the paid version, the pro version. But I create these on my own now. So I use my own text, my own fonts. And when you... Okay, let's just go with this. We're going to add a sub. It doesn't matter whether you do a heading or a subheading. You know, you can change the fonts. You can change whether it's bold or not. This one's always bold. You know, you can make this bold too. Doesn't matter. So I always just go with add a subheading. And we're going to call it Ice Burst. Or you can maybe put, you know, amazing sword or something like that. Just make it exciting. Make it really pop out. Make it look really cool. So this is where you change the different fonts. And you can upload your own fonts wherever your fonts are stored. One really good website to get great fonts is Duh Fonts. I love this place. There's amazing fonts, and they're all free. There's so many. It's incredible. Just go through the different fonts. There's so many. It's insane. And like I said, there's some really great ones. And I'll show you some of those great ones right now. And if you need help uploading a font and, you know, saving fonts to your computer and downloading them and how to use them, let me know. I can do a video on that as well, but we're just going to stick to the thumbnail for now. So these fonts, all these fonts that we're going to go through right now, these are all ones that I've added myself. And everything underneath these are all the fonts that come with Canva. And there's a lot of great ones. There really are. One of my favorite ones back in the day was Lacquer. It's like a kind of like a graffiti-ish type of font. And the fonts, they'll look different depending on whether it's a capital or lowercase. Some fonts don't really have a capital or lowercase, but like in this instance, anytime you make a capital, it drips. So if I make these all capital, see how they're all dripping? And you might want to do like some capital, some non. You know, just kind of mix it up a little bit. But I'm going to use one of my fonts. I really like these kind of fonts. I think they look cool. They stand out, but there's some amazing fonts out there. One that really looks fun and exciting that really gets people's attention that I've noticed is the Adventure font. Adventure is a really great one. Look at that. Doesn't that just kind of like, it looks exciting, right? So this would never do. This would be a terrible idea. Why? Because it doesn't really pop out. You want to change the color, and there's a lot of ways to really make it pop out. You want them to see this exciting word that grabs their attention. Like, you know, if I was making a gold video, I would put like insane gold, bam, you know, something like that. Make it pop out. Make it seem like this is crazy. I've got to watch this video. Holy crap. That's what you're going for. So we're going to make this Ice Burst. And maybe we want it to kind of coincide with the weapon, you know, be cold. So maybe we can do like a bluish color. And now this is hard to see, right? You don't want to just leave it like this. It's hard to see as it is, let alone when it's a small, little thumbnail. So there's a couple things you can do. You can click on the text and you can go to effects. You can add lift, which kind of makes it stand out, adds a little bit of shadowing behind it. You can make it a neon color and you could just crank that up. That's much easier to see, right? And this is one of my favorite effects, absolutely. Or you can, another thing that I like to do, because not everything has to be neon bright, you can do shadow. And shadow will really let you change the color so that it can, pop out and still be able to read easily from a distance what it says. And when you go to shadow, what I like to do is make the offset as big as possible. I like to make the transparency all the way up, and I always use black, and then I blur it, and I think that looks really, really great. And then you can play around with the colors. Now there's some other things that I like to do to make things, kind of pop out a little bit more. And one of those things is arrows, So you can go to element, you could get all kinds of stuff. Little pictures that you can insert, effects, different things like that. And we're gonna go with a nice, bright, big arrow, maybe like that. Nah, that's too much. I like that one. And then you can change the color of the arrows, make it stand out. You could circle things. You could do all kinds of stuff. I don't like that arrow. Let's go with this one. Now, see how it's kind of getting cluttered? You got to be careful with that. You don't want too much going on. You want it to be, to the point. You don't want it to be too cluttered, so you got to really be careful. You got to find that that balance, if you will. And you can even do like make the arrow shadowed. You could just copy it, make one of them black. There's all kinds of different things you can do to help stuff stand out. You could change the position so that the red's on top, the black's behind, by going to position, backwards, and now it looks more like a shadow. And then this is where you do your final little touches that, people may notice or may not. I love sparkles. Can't believe I'm giving out these secrets. And you can make things really pop out. Stuff that's not even, from the game, but you make it seem like it is. Do something like that. And, these are just the little touches I do that I add at the end. Like I said, maybe people notice it, maybe they don't, but I love spending time on it. I always tell people, it's the small details. They all add up to really make something great. You can't forget those small details. So that is pretty much it, folks. If you guys want to see some more tutorials and get a little bit deeper into it, I mean, heck, we've already been, oh my gosh, 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the video off. We are done. But that is my process. That's how I make my thumbnails. And I'll quickly show you guys some more of my thumbnails before I end the video. So all kinds of stuff. Here's my Raffle Bones thumbnail. And it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with this. I spend so much time on them, but it's worth it. I love doing it. I love doing it. And you can see I've always got shadowing. Even the drums, everything. These I take right from the game. So if you want to take something from the game, like composer's guitar, you can use light shot. You can copy stuff, paste it right in, add some shadows, or even if you just want a picture of this guitar, just the icon, You could zoom way in. There's so many different things you can do. And then you can add some shadows to this. Always add shadows. It makes things look so much better. See? Pretty cool, huh? So lots and lots of stuff you can do. So that is my first tutorial on thumbnails. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any requests for something you would like me to make a video about, let me know. I love doing videos on requests. I absolutely love it. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask me for something. Ask anybody that's ever dealt with me. I love helping. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for watching. CrazyKilllin, I hope this video helps. You guys all have an amazing day. Bye, guys.
There's something in the air.